When I received a review code for INDIKA the other day, it came with a very short guide in the form of 11 commandments, very fitting for the game's theme, but I didn't realize how true they would ring, especially number 10, until I had finished playing. Thou shalt respect the storytelling and thematic elements of INDIKA, understanding that it offers players a unique and not easily digestible experience. After playing the demo and watching the trailers, I knew this was going to be a weird one, but I wasn't prepared for the full ride at all, especially the ending. I'm not going to spoil it in this video, but I think it is important to talk about how abruptly the game ends. It feels completely unsatisfying, and I think it's gonna cause a big stir, especially with people who didn't know how short the game would be going in. It's not that short games are bad, but INDIKA felt like it was building up to something bigger, an experience along the lines of A Plague Tale: Innocence without the stealth. But then, it's just done. Over before it really even begins. However, I am not here to simply say, bad ending, do not buy, the end, because it's a lot more complicated than that, and the game does some pretty cool things in its 3 to 3.5 hour runtime. The alternate steampunk version of 18th century Russia it's set in is fascinating. Everything is so big and grand and industrial, like you're one tiny cog in the machine. Things start off relatively normal as they can get for our holy protagonist. You control INDIKA, a nun that everyone at the monastery seems to hate. She can never do anything right and is often punished for not fitting in. In the opening level, you're told to go fetch some water and have to trudge back and forth through the snow 5 times to completely fill the barrel. A cog in the machine. Meaningless toil. The game really is not afraid to mess with you. From impossible angles and warped perspectives, pixelated flashback minigame sequences, and the voice of the devil himself coaxing you and asking some tough questions about faith and religion. What shines through most is definitely the story, which, again, one of the reasons that the ending feels so bad. There's no closure. Even if they were trying to make some point about how things don't always work out in life, expect the unexpected, etc., I still couldn't shake the feeling that something went wrong. Did the devs run out of funding? Were they pushed to release the game way earlier than expected? Why would anyone choose to end a game like this? As the credits rolled, I sat there for 5 minutes trying to come up with an explanation. Maybe go back to the main menu and there'd be something new there, but it was only the continue button, completely grayed out, that's it. So I stopped trying to understand what it all meant and started thinking about the experience of playing through INDIKA as a whole. There really isn't much gameplay, some very light platforming, extremely simple puzzles, a few driving sections. Take all the gameplay out and you're left with, honestly, a pretty great movie. And I think movies are generally given more room to experiment, to be completely strange and unsettling and unsatisfying more so than video games. INDIKA would have been great as a movie, but it's not a movie, it's a game, and I still don't quite know what to think about it. So if anything, this is a title that'll make you feel unsure and uneasy. As the developers intended, it does push boundaries, it is disorienting, and it will deceive you. It actually is a pretty polished experience. Aside from some wonky looking hair and cutscenes that end awkwardly, I ran into no bugs, and the game ran pretty smoothly on medium graphics, a bit of choppiness here and there. Everything in this world is teetering on the edge of balance and chaos. It presents questions you may have never thought to ask before, and unfortunately, a lot of those questions will remain unanswered in the end. Oddmeter certainly created something special with this one, and I do sincerely hope it reaches the right audience. It would have been easy for me to say, I didn't like the ending, so you should avoid this one. And I'm afraid that some reviewers will do just that and turn people away before they can give it a chance. But for me, it was more, I didn't like the ending because it made me uncomfortable. That's not how a game is supposed to do things. The story should be wrapped up in a bow so I can digest it easily and move on with my day. But this one kept me up through the night wondering what went wrong. Did I do something wrong? I don't know, I'm still having trouble definitively summarizing my thoughts, as you can tell. But if you truly want to play a kind of game that you've never played before, well, that's INDIKA for you. I also do hope that the team at Oddmeter can continue creating because they certainly do have ideas that I find fascinating and would love to see be explored further, more fleshed out. But for now, I'd like to see what you all think because I have a feeling people are going to be extremely split, just as I was.